The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built to keep going, blending rugged muscle with precision engineering, all supported by Toyota's time-tested legacy of dependability. Step into a Tundra and feel the unyielding capability with the available iForce Max engine. Tundra puts out impressive power, torque, and towing performance, and the roomy high-tech cabin keeps you connected on the go. Or take a look at Tacoma, made for drivers who push past the path. Agile, tough, and relentless, with available features like crawl control, a portable JBL speaker, a power liftgate so gear goes in fast and the adventure keeps moving. The Tacoma and Tundra are engineered to endure season after season, mile after mile. So drive one home today. Visit Toyota.com or stop by your local Toyota dealer to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to the Yaffee program. Glad we are here. Okay. So someone is saying that I still sound a little scratchy on the radio. Maybe you have to turn me down just a little bit more. But you said it sounded a lot better, Austin, right? When you were listening to the recording a second ago. Just so people know, I can't on my end, I can't hear. So if we have an issue, I appreciate you texting. So send me a text on the Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866. If there is an issue where we're just a bit off, scratchy, and muffled, text me, let me know, and we'll try to fix it on this end. But I think, someone said that cleared it up. So whatever you just did, Austin, good job. Good job. I don't know. Did you turn me down a little bit?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you to the listener that said that. Yeah, because that I guess that worked.
I guess it was still able to hear, but it just sounded a bit off. So I appreciate that. So yeah, you can text about anything you want. By the way, I didn't expect to be here today. So here is the story. Yesterday, my wife, we had an appointment at the hospital. Me and my wife. We were going to get our child induced labor. And that was because there was an issue where the baby was breech, even though the baby turned back around. So we just kept the appointment for induction, I guess is what you call it. They called us 5 a.m. yesterday, the hospital, and said, we have to put it on hold. We're full. So if she actually went into labor, on her own, it would have been fine. We could have got in. But because we had this appointment, it got moved. Now, somehow it got moved to 2 a.m. on Monday. So I have no idea if I'm going to get any sleep Sunday or any. I seriously doubt my wife's going to. And so I'm like, why would the doctors want to work at that point? But maybe it's just all they can do. So I was like, well, I might as well just come back on the air Friday. So here I am. So maybe some of you are celebrating and maybe others are not. I don't know. That's up to you. By the way, I got a bunch of texts coming in still when it comes to Tuberville, because Tuberville posted something on his X page, reposted it. It was a picture basically comparing New York Mayor Mamdani to the 9/11 terrorists, saying the enemy is inside the gates. And my whole point was there is a grain of truth to it. It's and Trump does this too. Trump will take an issue. He has a grain of truth to what he's saying, but then stretches it out so much, so far, that he takes it just a little bit too far. And I get that he does it for shock value, and that's like common in our politics today on both sides, frankly. But that's what I thought of Tuberville, but some people disagree. One person said, Yaffee, I agree wholeheartedly with Tuberville. We have been subtle for too long. What we tolerate today, we will have to endure tomorrow. So that was Matt weighing in. Let's see. Another person said, what about the Islamic neighborhood in Houston that wants to install Sharia law? And this is kind of my whole point on this subject. And this is, I can get behind the radio and just say, yeah, Tuberville's right, and do the same thing, because shock value does get attention. I mean, there is no doubt Tuberville is getting more attention from his post. But I really do take it seriously to try to be a voice of reason for you. And you could talk about the shock value, but I just want to be correct. You know, I put the truth and being correct and being right over just what's going to get attention. So I'll tell you where I agree with Trump and where maybe he goes too far. And I do the same thing for, say, Tuberville or Katie Britt, where I agree with them or I don't. But the fact is, what Tuberville said, there's a grain of truth because, yes, Mamdani is Muslim. Yes, he is somewhat sympathetic to causes I am not. And yes, there is a problem, especially with immigration, because of multiculturalism, political correctness, whatever you want to talk about, where we're just importing thousands and millions of people from other countries and other cultures, and many of them could have the potential to be radical Muslims, but we don't want to be offensive, so we just let them all in. And then what do you know? You have even naturalized U.S. citizens who end up being radical Islamists. So I agree that I don't want Sharia law here. I agree it's a threat, and I agree with Tuberville that it's way worse in Europe right now than it is in the United States because of that reason. But I just say this one post, it's an issue where, similar to what happens with Trump sometimes, it becomes a distraction from the main issue. Now it's about comparing all Muslims and all Muslim leaders to terrorists on 9/11. When you do that, you take it a step too far. You're losing people. There are people that might agree with you, sympathize with your message, but then when you post something like this, it just sounds like you're saying all Muslims are terrorists. And we all know, obviously, that not all Muslims are terrorists. And I'm a Christian. I don't agree with the Muslim faith at all. I have problems with it. But that doesn't mean I believe every single Muslim is a terrorist. We have to have the distinction there. We have to be correct in order for the message to really get out and be effective, which is kind of my take on that. And I know it doesn't get as much attention, but I believe that's the truth. You can weigh in on the Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866. We're going to talk more about the Iran war next here on the Yaffee program. Stay with us.
It's the Yaffee program on WVNN.
When you really need care, you need 24/7 access to a care team, not a maze of paperwork from a third party. Every day, America's hospitals and health systems show up for you. Navigating healthcare can feel overwhelming, but you can count on real doctors, real nurses, real people, providing quality, around-the-clock care when you need it most. They're in your corner, in communities across America. Your neighbors, your lifelines, right beside you, holding your hand and helping find answers. That's what putting patients first actually means. Learn more at strengthenhealthcare.org. Brought to you by the Coalition to Strengthen America's Healthcare.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.